Today I'm going to show you one of the most important things I've learned after 10 years of making electronic music. This concept really struck gold with me after receiving thousands of questions from my bootcamp students and after one of the most beautiful songs came out called No Lie by Martin Solveig and Michael Calfin. So what I'm going to do in this video is remake the amazing drop from that song, and I really want to show you why this drop is so important. So what I've learned in electronic music production is not only the importance in sound selection, but how there's this stigma, especially with amateur producers, that every sound you use has to be big and present and in your face. And to be completely honest with you, this stigma could not be farther from the truth. A good song has an interesting arrangement, good melodies, lyrics, and rhythms that get stuck in your head. And none of this really has anything to do with how big the sounds are. I'm going to show you how the most simple, delicate sounds can make up the most beautiful drops. And we're going to hop right into Ableton here today and make that drop. So yes, I'm working in Ableton today because most of my EDM bootcamp students are actually using Ableton and FL Studio, even though the bootcamp was written in Logic Pro X. But I do want to go ahead and make some more videos that cater to the Ableton community. So for this drop, I'm going to use a plugin called Kick 2 for the kick. And I'm going to get a nice delicate kick, nothing too insanely in your face, but one that does the job. So I'm going to find the key of this song, which is C sharp. So there we have a nice kick with a nice sub bass bottom to it, and it's not too in your face. Now I'm going to lay down the bass. And I'm going to use an instance of Sylenth 1. So now I'm going to make a nice soft sub bass pluck that's not too in your face, but it's definitely present in the sub bass region. So I'm going to use a sine wave, and for sub bass I'm just going to edit the amp envelope to give it that plucky sound. And then here's what I like to do on my sub bass plucks. I like to add a little envelope with pitch modulation to give it more of a tougher attack. And so this kick mixed with this bass should roll amazingly. We have this high energy bass line that will just roll the drop out. And so what I'm going to do is open up a new instance of Serum here so we can make our lead sound for our melody. And I'm just going to go to Menu, Init, Preset, come back into the region here, and start writing out the melody. So now we have our melody. We're good to go ahead and start designing the lead sound. So this is a very, very simple sound, and we're going to use the most delicate wave we can, which is a sine wave. So this sound is so So simple that really all we have to do is just load it up like that, put a little bit of drive on it, and then we could get some reverb. And once we have our nice lead and bass and kick working together, then we could go ahead and drop the hi-hats, which really make it come to life. So I'm going to use the Splice app for the hi-hat line. And as far as hi-hats go, I really like to use loops as much as possible because I don't feel like making them. So I'm just going to slide this in here and chop the good part out of this hi-hat line. So there's one more instrument that I wanted to add that's not in the actual drop, but it is in the song. And it is a synth stab, and it layers the bass line. It just makes it pop out and come to life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bass line and I'm going to put it on a new track here, which is an initialized Serum, and it sounds like this. And that's not good enough for me, so what I'm going to do is come into Analog and be Saw. And then I'm going to stuff the unison up like this because my CPU allows me to do that. And then I'm going to envelope this cutoff knob. So the envelope 2 is actually an empty envelope in Serum. And what you could do with it is use it to turn whichever knob you want it to turn. So I'm going to use it to turn the filter knob. And I'm going to tell it right now to turn it, to open it and close it at such a high rate of speed that now we have a pluck sound. And so this is going to sound really nice, layered on top of the bass if we bring it down an octave. And I'm going to get rid of some of those hits and make it just a single hit for each note. I'm going to do the same for these notes. And these sound good with a little bit of reverb. I'm going to make it a little bit longer at that decay. And so with everything, and right there, that simple little drop with all these delicate sounds just rolls like crazy. It's super fun to listen to. I highly recommend you check that song out, by the way. So if you would like to learn more about sound design, sound selection, chord writing, melody writing, and arrangement, check out my EDM bootcamp. I left a link for you in the top of the description below, and stay tuned for the next video.